Hey brothers and sisters, how y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing wonderful. I'm here to talk about something that is a little bit of a touchy subject for me, and it's something that I've struggled with. As you can see the title of the video, it's called facial hair or bodily hair, or hair that's just basically unwanted on your body. So as a woman, especially as a woman in America, there is sort of a standard or a taboo of body hair. So women are usually not supposed to have a bunch of body hair. And for most women, that's totally fine. You know, they can shave and it's not a big deal to them. Many women feel like they have to shave, which I don't agree with, but you know, it's up to you. But to me, that's a whole nother issue. My issue is hair that comes in places that are not typical and are embarrassing because of that, unwanted, and just a headache. Now, I do know that with facial hair or with irregular hair growth, sometimes it does come from genetics and other times it could be a medical condition. So it's not always a medical condition and it's not always just genetic. So if you're concerned about that, it's definitely something that you should bring up with your dermatologist, talk with your family, look at family history and see where it's coming from and what other people maybe in your family have done to combat it. So let me just tell you a little bit about my situation and things that I've had to deal with in the past. So when I was in about the 9th grade, I started noticing I would get like little bits of hair like right here at the bottom of my neck and like a little bit on my jawbone. And I was walking home from school one day and one of my friends was a guy. He was like, "Why you got like hair on you?" And that kind of freaked me out because I thought that because of my complexion and the hair being dark, nobody really saw it. So when he mentioned it, I was just kind of like, okay, so I gotta do something about this. I'm going to insert a picture here of what my face looks like when some of the hair grows out. So me not knowing, I took my razor and I started shaving the hair, and of course, as you know, when you do that, the hair just gets thicker, it gets darker, it gets more. So as I started getting older, I started noticing more hair. Like I would get it like on my sideburns, but then also on the sides of my cheeks. And I asked my mom, I said, you know, what is this? How come I'm the only one that has this? My sister doesn't have any, my mom doesn't have any, I've never seen any women in my family with it. What's going on? And she just said, you know, I don't know because we don't have that on this side of the family. Why don't you ask your dad? I asked him and I think he said that he doesn't know what I was talking about or whatever, so I just kind of dropped it and figured out how I was going to deal with it. So I stopped the shaving. My mom would buy me like, I went to the dermatologist and she gave us these like creams to put on my, like dermatology approved creams that they made at the doctors or whatever. It didn't work. And then we tried like the Nair stuff. It just burned. And my hair being black, it's a lot more resistant to coming off from like lotions and stuff like that. I have to usually use more intense methods. So it wasn't working out. The hair started growing more. I was always on top of it, so like I wouldn't allow it to grow a lot, but it was just frustrating being paranoid that people could see it. And I believe when I started college, yeah, I think it was when I started college, my mom got like us to do like a laser treatment. So I went to the laser lab and I would go in for appointments. I can't remember if it was like once a week or every other week and get the laser hair removal. Now that was a disaster because from what they told me, that laser removal did not pick up my hair that well. Because of my skin complexion, it had a difficult time being able to differentiate my complexion from the hair itself. So it wasn't doing a good job of taking the hair out. I guess it took some out, but it did not work. Like the hair continued to grow back. They actually burned me really, really bad one time with it, and that's why I stopped going. They burned me so bad. And so I stopped going. It was really painful. The process was really painful and it was expensive, but that didn't work out, so we just left that alone. Okay, so then I went to a nail shop one time and the lady asked me about it. She's like, you know, I can wax it. So I said, okay. I had her wax it. And what ended up happening was my skin was so irritated by the wax that I ended up getting like bumps, breaking out from the wax. It's just like, man, this is like an ongoing issue, never stops. So then she said, well, let me try plucking it. So she got tweezers and started pulling the hairs out. Now that was really painful at first, but that actually pulled the hair out and allowed it to kind of take longer to grow back. So I started doing that. I would just come home and just like pull the hairs out. Now I started getting like addicted to it for some reason. I don't know, the sensation. When I would get bored, I would just have my tweezers and I'd be like pulling the hairs out, which was fine. I was told by some men that I should use clippers. But I don't feel like I have enough hair to use clippers. But supposedly that would eliminate a lot of the bump issues, anyway. Let's move aside from that. So as of now, what I do is I do use tweezers to pull them out. I just use like regular tweezers that you would use for your eyebrows. I just make sure that the ends are sharp enough to be able to grip the hair. I use tweezers, and then sometimes I'll just use nail scissors, just little scissors, and I won't pull out the hairs. I'll just take the scissors and just sort of clip to the point where you can't see it anymore. When I wear makeup, you really can't see the hairs. It covers it. But I don't wear makeup during the week when I go to work and all of that. So it can be a little bit embarrassing if I don't do anything about it and just walk out. I don't like that feeling. It makes me feel really self-conscious. I remember one time I was in Ghana and I was like in the village playing with all the little kids. And one of the little girls, was it a girl? It was a boy who was acting like a girl. He was with me all the time and he was sitting on my lap and he just like lifted up my face and he was like, why do you have hair on your face? And I was like, that's just the way God made me, honey. And he goes, okay. And it was just nothing. But little kids sometimes, like, if they're staring at me, they'll just kind of be like, not little kids, but kids who are old enough to know that that's like sort of maybe not the norm. So it's still definitely something that I'm self-conscious about. It's something that I'm constantly having to make sure it's under control, and something that I usually don't like talking about. How does it affect me with men and relationships? I have never, except one, I have only had one guy that I've dated in my entire life bring it up or say something about it or mention it or even notice it. Not to say that the other guys didn't notice it, but they had enough tact or they liked me enough or loved me enough or whatever, just kind of accept it. Okay, I know what it is. I don't need to ask her. But I did have one guy, one boyfriend, say, you have hair on your face. And I was just kind of like, okay. I was like, yeah, I do. Is that something that bothers you? And he's like, no, I just pointing it out. I'm not really sure why he pointed it out, but he did. And, he said he was fine with it or whatever. It hasn't affected me in any way with guys, ever. Yeah, and maybe it's because I don't let it just be all out and just be like, whatever, because I'm self-conscious about it. So maybe if I did let it just grow and just, whatever, then people probably might be like, whoa, and that's fine too. Everyone has a right to what they will and won't accept in a woman. But like I said, it was really embarrassing, or is really embarrassing. Sometimes I'm like, I'm turning into a man. I really feel like that. I'm turning into a man. And my sister and some of my friends too, they're just like, girl, please, don't nobody notice that. Nobody cares about that. I got these broad shoulders, or I ain't got no boobs, or everyone seems to have something that they struggle with, something that they are self-conscious about. It's normal. Everyone has something, and I guess for me, of all the things that could be wrong, I'm actually okay with this. Seeing some of the other stuff that really can't be fixed, I'm okay. I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm intelligent, all that. Like, that outweighs physical things to the T. So I'm not worried about that, but it is something that I did want to discuss because I know a lot of people do struggle with it, and I also wanted everyone here to be able to kind of connect if you guys do struggle with it. Also, write comments as far as what you do, how you take care of it, how it's impacted you in your life, and just to kind of share, because it is a little bit of an embarrassing topic. A lot of people don't like talking about it, so I'm kind of opening up that platform. I do have a couple friends who have like hair on their chest, hair on their face, maybe hair on their boobs, and so I actually am able to talk with other girls about it and feel safe, and I do have that, because I do have friends who have that. So at least I do have some sort of an outlet, but I know some people don't, so I'm kind of like wanting you guys to be able to talk about this here and just sort of help each other. At the end of the day, everything is relative. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is based upon the standards of the world. So don't ever feel like because something is different about you, you're not worthy, you're not beautiful, you're not competitive, you're not whatever. You are beautiful. Everyone has things that they wish they can change, and it's up to you to really be able to see the beauty in yourself. And if there is something you don't like about yourself, you can fix it, change it, be comfortable with it, whichever route you choose. Just remember that you're worthy, you're gorgeous, and we're all in this together, y'all. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your love, and I definitely do feel comfortable with my YouTube family about my body, my hair, myself, and I'm definitely comfortable talking to you guys about something that I usually don't ever talk about. So thank you so much for watching. Big kisses to you all. Mwah. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.